What's going on, guys? By Austin Ramos, and today we're talking about the Baltimore Ravens coming to Miami to face the Dolphins on Thursday Night Football, Week 10. And the game kicks off at 8:20 p.m. Hard Rock Stadium. You can catch it on Fox, NFL Network, and then Prime Video. I've never watched a game on Prime Video, which is pretty interesting to think about. Aside from that, Dolphins are facing a tough Baltimore Ravens team who's leading the division. They're 6-2 right now. Dolphins are pretty much opposite of that record, 2-7. But the Dolphins did get a win for the first time since Week 1 this past week against the Houston Texans. But it's nothing to kind of gloat about. You know, you face another 1-17. Both teams combined for 9 total turnovers. It was just a sloppy, ugly game. And the Dolphins found a way to get on top, which they should have. And if they wouldn't have, then a lot of Miami Dolphin fans would have lost their sanity, probably including myself. You know, just the pure mistakes that would happen in that game was just too much. There are some injuries for this week, so let's go over them. For the Baltimore Ravens, you have defensive tackle Brandon Williams and guard Patrick McCarry listed as doubtful. Actually, Latavius Murray, running back, is listed as doubtful. Brandon Williams, defensive tackle, Sammy Watkins, wide receiver, and Nick Boyle, tight end, are all listed as questionable. And then for the Miami Dolphins, you have Elijah Campbell, safety, as questionable. Same thing with Tua Tagovailoa. And then injured reserve, you have Will Fuller, the wide receiver, and Greg Mance, guard. So those are some of the injuries leading into this Thursday night bout between two AFC teams. One obviously having a way better season than the other. The Dolphins are struggling, but they play good at home. That's all pretty much I can say. Obviously, their record does not reflect what I think of the team. I think obviously a lot higher of them, but you know, your record says who you are, but you know, some of the things that you do within games also tells who you are. The Dolphins are a team that limited mistakes. They're pretty good. A lot of mistakes, pretty bad. And this season has had a lot of mistakes, defensively, offensively, whatever it may be. Some things I noticed on Sunday's game against the Texans is that Byron Jones is getting targeted a whole bunch. I don't know if that was part of the Houston Texans game plan or it was just, you know, he was getting beat by the other receivers that he was covering. But aside from that, not looking good. Xavier Howard did not very throw into him. Jerome Baker got an interception. That was pretty good. But enough about the Dolphins. Let's talk a little bit about the Ravens. The Ravens have been, I think, in 5 one-possession games, and they've come out on top on 4 of them. Or I may have it wrong. 6 games, and they come out on top of 5. Anyway, the number is in that range. And if the Dolphins can make this a close game, which I doubt it, either the Dolphins are going to win in a close game or they're just going to get blown out. The season over in 2019. But very rare, very slight chance that will happen. And I hope it doesn't happen because I want to see this Dolphins team, you know, kind of pick things up, have some success. Now, does that fall behind with Tua being the starting quarterback Thursday? Hopefully. I want to see him start. I want to see Tua have a good game. The only game I've been to here in Miami was against the Buffalo Bills, and that game was a shit show. And it started off bad, and it ended off bad. Really early on, Dolphins got down to a bad started trailing early. Tua gets hurt. And then pretty much at that point, the season got chalked up in Week 2. So that's rough. Aside from that, I was pretty upset last week when they decided to allow Tua to be in uniform, pads and everything. I understand maybe it was a game time decision, but don't have him out there in uniform. Don't have him, you know, kind of teasing the fans that, you know, I could play right now if they put me in, but it is what it is. Maybe reach net or no, because I think he got claimed. Either way, not a good look for the Dolphins. Aside from that, yeah, Ravens win these close games. If the Dolphins can make it a close game, possibly come out on top, but very, very slim odds. And yes, I did pick the Dolphins to win this week, and that was just me being optimistic, hoping, being selfish for a Dolphins win. I'm willing to take a L on the game picks for, you know, my happiness. But that's pretty much it in terms of kind of summing up these two teams in the last week or so. Keys to victory for Miami. First and foremost, you got to stop Lamar Jackson, stop his running, limit his passing. So just full on, just put a lot of pressure on Lamar Jackson, make him make mistakes. if the Dolphins can make mistakes, they got to capitalize on them. So that's on the second one. Whenever there's a 50-50 ball, the Dolphins need to come down with it offensively, defensively. Make those big plays. And that's something that Mike Gesicki did a lot last week, which really helped the Dolphins. I think he was the leading receiver last week. He had 2, probably 3 of the nastiest catches I've probably seen this entire season. All with one hand for the most part. And then last but not least, we need to run the damn ball. Dolphins, the entire season, have not run the ball good. And it's not going to help building towards next season if you're not establishing some type of offensive identity. And obviously, they don't have one. So why not just run the ball? It helps you chew clock. So if it's a close game, you can work the clock in your favor. And that's something that the Dolphins have struggled with as well. Because they have a chance to move the ball down the field. Passing, running, not the same. But you got to stick with the running game. Doesn't matter if you get down 2 touchdowns. Stick with the running game. It will work out for Miami Dolphins. I wish they could stop being so stubborn about it. So apply pressure on Lamar Jackson, make him make mistakes. Capitalize on those mistakes / 50-50 balls. Come down with them. Run the ball. Run the damn ball. I want to see the Dolphins run the ball. I don't want to see them just run it with Myles Gaskin. I want to see them run it with Savon Ahmed. I want to see them run it with whoever is on the roster. Run the ball. That's all I can ask for, especially if Tua's not going to be playing. This Ravens team is really good offensively, defensively, special teams. They have one of the best kickers in the NFL. And I wish I could say the same about the Dolphins, but clearly cannot. Defensively, we're similar in some ways, but the Ravens defense can capitalize on situations more than the Dolphins. Then offensively, they have one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL in terms of his overall playing style. He can run the ball really good. He can throw the ball really well. And it's going to be tough. But if the Dolphins come out on top, that will just be the icing on the cake for my birthday. So hopefully they do. But I appreciate you guys watching the video. And we'll get a video hopefully after the game. Or if not, just very early in the morning. We'll see what happens. But thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.